Rome. The name itself evokes images of power, grandeur, and a civilization that once dominated the known world. But before the legions, before the emperors, before the sprawling empire, there was a story, a legend. It tells of twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, abandoned as infants and raised by a she-wolf. They were destined to build a city on the banks of the Tiber River. Their tale, steeped in myth and symbolism, speaks to the very heart of Roman identity. It is a story of ambition, rivalry, and ultimately fratricide. Romulus killed Remus, establishing himself as the sole ruler of the newly founded city. Rome, named in his honor, would rise from this mythical act of violence to become one of the most influential civilizations in human history. The founding myth of Rome, while likely more fiction than fact, served a crucial purpose. It provided a powerful narrative for the Roman people, a common origin story that bound them together. It reinforced the idea of Rome's exceptionalism, its destiny to rule. In its early centuries, Rome was far from the sprawling empire it would become. It was a small city-state, one among many in the Italian peninsula. Yet, Rome possessed a unique blend of pragmatism, discipline, and military prowess that set it apart. The Romans were, above all, survivors. They were adaptable, willing to learn from their enemies, and utterly ruthless when necessary. Rome's early government was a republic, a radical departure from the monarchies that dominated the ancient world. Power rested not in a single ruler, but in the hands of its citizens, or at least the wealthy, land-owning elite who made up the patrician class. They formed the Senate, a body of elders who advised the elected magistrates and held considerable sway over Roman politics. The Roman Republic was not a democracy in the modern sense. It was a system built on hierarchy and inequality. Yet it allowed for a degree of social mobility and civic participation that was unusual for its time. This, combined with Rome's military successes, proved to be a potent formula. By the 1st century BC, Rome had grown into a dominant power in the Mediterranean. Its legions conquered vast territories, bringing wealth and slaves back to Rome. But this expansion strained the Republic. Political violence became commonplace. Among the powerful generals, one man stood out, Gaius Julius Caesar. His conquests in Gaul made him a hero to the people. Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon in 49 BC began a bloody civil war. In 44 BC, he was assassinated by senators hoping to save the Republic. They were wrong. His death accelerated Rome's transformation. From the ashes of the Republic rose the Roman Empire. Caesar's adopted son Octavian, later known as Augustus, carefully consolidated power, transforming Rome's political system into a more centralized and autocratic one. He presented himself not as a king, but as the first citizen, the princeps, a shrewd move that masked his absolute authority. Augustus's reign ushered in a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. For 2 centuries, the Roman world enjoyed relative stability, a golden age of cultural flourishing and economic expansion. The empire reached its greatest territorial extent, stretching from the British Isles in the north to North Africa in the south, from Spain in the west to Syria in the east. The Pax Romana was a time of immense architectural projects, literary achievements, and legal innovations. The Romans built roads, aqueducts, and public baths on a scale never seen before. They codified their laws, creating a legal system that would influence Western jurisprudence for centuries to come. The arts and literature flourished, with writers like Virgil, Horace, and Ovid producing works that are still studied and admired today. The Romans were not only conquerors, they were builders. Their architectural achievements stand as a testament to their ingenuity, their ambition, and their enduring legacy. From the Colosseum, a colossal amphitheater that could hold up to 80,000 spectators, to the Pantheon, a temple to all gods with its awe-inspiring dome, Roman architecture continues to inspire and amaze us today. Roman engineers were masters of concrete, a material that allowed them to construct massive structures like aqueducts, bridges, and roads that spanned their vast empire. These feats of engineering were not merely functional. They were statements of Roman power and ingenuity. They were meant to impress, to awe, and to endure. The Romans' architectural and engineering prowess was not limited to grand public works. They also excelled in domestic architecture, creating luxurious villas with elaborate mosaics, frescoes, and gardens. These homes reflected the wealth and sophistication of the Roman elite, as well as their appreciation for beauty and comfort. Life in the Roman Empire was a study in contrasts. For the wealthy elite, life was good. They enjoyed luxurious villas, fine dining, and the spectacle of gladiatorial combat. They could afford to indulge in the latest fashions, attend the theater, and debate philosophy. For the vast majority of the population, however, life was much harsher. The average Roman citizen lived a life of toil and hardship. Most were farmers, laborers, or artisans working long hours to make ends meet. They lived in crowded, often unsanitary conditions, with limited access to education or healthcare. The Roman state, aware of the potential for unrest among the urban poor, developed a strategy of bread and circuses to keep the masses content. This involved providing free grain to the poor and staging elaborate games and gladiatorial contests in the Colosseum and other arenas throughout the empire. These spectacles provided a welcome distraction from the harsh realities of daily life and served as a powerful tool of social control. The Pax Romana, for all its glory, was not to last. By the 3rd century AD, the Roman Empire faced a series of internal and external crises that threatened to tear it apart. A succession of weak and corrupt emperors, coupled with economic instability and rampant inflation, weakened the empire from within. On the frontiers, barbarian tribes, driven by pressure from migrating populations further east, exerted increasing pressure on the empire's borders. The Roman legions, once the invincible guardians of the empire, were stretched thin, struggling to contain the growing threats on multiple fronts. This period, known as the crisis of the 3rd century, was a time of chaos and upheaval. The empire nearly collapsed under the weight of its own problems. It was a stark reminder that even the mightiest of empires are not invincible. They are subject to the same forces of history, the same internal and external pressures that have shaped the destinies of civilizations throughout time. The Roman Empire survived the crisis of the 3rd century, but emerged changed. Emperor Diocletian divided the empire, creating eastern and western halves. The Eastern Roman Empire, centered on Constantinople, proved more resilient. The Western Roman Empire faced economic woes and political instability. This division marked a turning point in European history. The fall of the Western Roman Empire was not a single event, but a long, drawn-out process of decline and disintegration that unfolded over several centuries. Weakened by internal strife, economic woes, and relentless pressure from barbarian tribes, the Western Roman Empire slowly crumbled from within. One by one, the provinces of the Western Roman Empire fell to invading Germanic tribes. The Visigoths sacked Rome in 410 AD, a symbolic blow to the heart of the empire. The Vandals captured Carthage, the breadbasket of the Western Roman Empire, in 439 AD. By the end of the 5th century AD, the Western Roman Empire had ceased to exist as a political entity. The last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic warlord Odoacer in 476 AD. This event, while significant, merely formalized what had been a reality for decades. The Western Roman Empire was no more. The fall of the Western Roman Empire marked the end of an era, but it did not erase Rome's legacy. Roman law, language, architecture, and culture continued to influence Western civilization. The Roman legal system formed the basis of legal systems throughout Europe. Latin evolved into the Romance languages and was used in scholarship and liturgy. Roman architectural styles influenced buildings from the Middle Ages to the 19th century. The Roman Empire left an indelible mark on the Western imagination. Rome's legacy lives on, shaping our world in countless ways. Even today, millennia after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the echoes of ancient Rome reverberate through the corridors of history. We see its influence in our language, our laws, our architecture, our art, and our very ideas about government and society. The Roman Empire may be a relic of the past, but its legacy continues to shape our present and our future. From the ruins of the Colosseum to the enduring power of Latin phrases, From the principles of Roman law to the grandeur of Roman architecture, the Roman Empire left an indelible mark on the Western world. Its rise and fall offer valuable lessons about the nature of power, the complexities of empire, and the enduring spirit of human civilization. Rome may have fallen, but its legacy, like the ruins of its once great empire, continues to inspire and challenge us today.